What does freedom mean to you? Does it mean the freedom to choose? The freedom to have a family and raise your kids according to your own values? What about living a wild, adventurous life, experimenting with music, relationships, or art? What does freedom really mean? What if freedom meant something that only a few Americans still understood? What if it meant that your choices and your values were set by you, rather than by some politician in a far-off capital? Some people think we're only free to choose to live exactly how they live, by their moral code, or their narrow worldviews. But if liberty means anything, it means that you, and you alone, have the power to exercise your rights to which the laws of nature and nature's God granted you. It's time to put these principles back into action. It's time to restore the American dream, activate in our communities, and take our country back. It's time to wake up, America. Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Patterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at Wake Up America Show. Happy Friday. We made it. Exciting. Wow, we love seeing Friday come around because sometimes these weeks are just so long. But I think that the Wake Up America show just helps the week go by a little bit faster for some of you, wouldn't you say? I think so. We all look forward to Friday, don't we? Because you know why. Joining us live and in studio for Family Friday is my lovely wife, Stephanie. Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, It has been a busy week. How's everything going with you, Steph? Yeah, that's good. That's good, Stephanie. Can we ask the stream real quick to find out? Are we hearing Stephanie's microphone? Let's hear because I'm not. Yeah, I don't hear you either. It shows that you're popping on your levels, but go ahead and talk for me again, Steph. Yeah, it was working just fine a little bit earlier. Oh, you have that's the wrong microphone, Stephanie. You're not connected. You picked up for some reason you went ahead and picked up some microphone that's not even your microphone and you attached it. There you go. How about that one?
Microphones here,
Yeah.
just in case someone else pops in.
There you go. Yeah. Well, so that's the kind of the long-term goal for the Wake Up America show is that eventually we're gonna have multiple guests in studio, but you just found a random microphone and you picked it up.
Bullets around the studio there.
There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
Can't hear the lovely lady. They said, "Can you hear?" Let's see if we can get Stephanie. Can you sing a little song for us real briefly?
Good morning, good morning. La 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 la.
I think we've
Am
got
I
her.
clear? Am I clear?
I think we've got her here.
Wow, that
Pretty
was
sure.
so confusing.
Mhm.
Gosh.
I wasn't confused when I saw you holding that microphone. I was like, "Where did she go get that?" She's like a little chicken. She just picks up little things that she sees all over the place. Yes.
Scavenger hunt in here.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Welcome to the Wake Up America show with Austin Patterson. We're very excited about all the growth that the channel's had.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Every day we're witnessing your numbers growing, your subscribers growing. What you've gotten?
It's been what
600
we've
new
gotten like
subscribers?
500 new subscribers in the last they say 28 days overall, but here's the thing. Like 450 of those have come in the last like 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's from your reels.
It's been the stories, so the shorts,
Mhm.
yeah, the new videos that we put. Look at that. Check that out up on the stream. Look at that. Check out my latest YouTube video right there. Your War, Communism, and Revolution in Russia.
Oh, does it appear on the screen?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so we've
awesome.
got all sorts of new chat functionality for everybody this morning. As you can see, there's a bot that I've installed into the chat
Mhm.
that talks to you. You can ask the magic 8-ball questions. Yes, there's a magic 8-ball in the chat that if you hit if you type exclamation point 8-ball and then space and then ask it a question, then the 8-ball will answer. Magic 8-ball will answer your question for you today in the stream and going forward.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I
that's
need to pop in there and ask it some questions.
you need to, yeah. So it has like a cool down period. So if everybody's trying to do it all at once and stuff like that, it's only going to let like one person do it every 20, 30 seconds or so.
There's like a Miss Cleo behind the scenes
Yes.
who's like actually predicting our future.
Right. And now I don't have to tell everybody every 5 minutes to switch their YouTube chat from the top chat, which is what YouTube wants you to watch
Mhm.
on comments, to live chat because the bot tells people every 5 minutes.
What would we do without robots?
Without our robots? Yes, for sure. And also now too for those who become members of the channel, which a member is somebody who does like a a monthly subscription to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Now, whenever they do that or whenever they give super chats, sometimes it wouldn't appear on screen. It wouldn't show, hey, they super chatted or hey, they became a member. Now, whether it's on the commercials or anywhere in the stream, you'll be able to see that you gave your
Wow.
super chat. So, for example, if you're like Andy O, he's already a member this morning.
Oh, I know Andy.
Yes,
He's awesome.
Andy is awesome. He's a big supporter. So like Chris Morrill or Doug H, for example, or Jasper John, if they decided to become, or Maria, if they decided to become, or Michael Friday, if they decided to become monthly members on the YouTube channel, like right now, for example,
Wink, wink.
wink, wink, then it would pop up with them joining like Freedom Ninja. There's the little karate guy that kicks and stuff like that. So
Recognition.
they do for sure.
So we always need to take a moment out to say thank you.
Al Johnson mentioned, hear you as clearly as George Santos performing a number as a drag queen in Brazil.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that perfect? Because guess what we've got queued up for him, Stephanie.
We're going to be talking about him
We're
right
going to
now.
be talking about him right now, as a matter of fact. Let's go ahead and head on over to that. Let's do that now because we've got a video that we were watching this morning and Stephanie was like, what in the hell is this? Take a listen.
New York's favorite scallywag used to perform in drag. New York GOP Congressman George Santos is accused of lying about almost everything ever. To me, it's impressive. Including his mom being at the World Trade Center on 9/11. Turns out she was at 7-Eleven on Earth Day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Next, he'll say he lowered gas prices and beat up Corn Pop. He's also denying he stole money from a disabled veteran trying to care for a sick dog. And on top of all that, he reportedly committed the most evil of evils, dressing in drag. The drag queen and former friend of Santos says they met more than 15 years ago in Brazil.
Looks like him.
Santos reportedly went by Kitara Ravachi. Him too? I knew we had something in common. But much like me, George couldn't handle the drag queen lifestyle. Quote, he did not have what it takes to be a professional. George did not have the glamour for that.
He does not have the glamour
That's
for
a
that.
friend. What a catty bitch. Santos denied he ever
queen.
performed as a drag queen, calling it the most recent obsession from the media and categorically false. But I get his anger. I myself have been accused of making some embarrassing appearances in very seedy circumstances very early in my career.
Okay, so here's the thing. So he's a known liar. I told you the story about him lying about him being Jewish, right?
Yeah, that was flabbergasting
Some
to me
funny,
as a Jew.
very funny
I
stuff.
mean, first of all, his name is not Jewish at all.
Santos.
Right.
Right.
He should have been like Santosberg.
Well, but
He needed to change it.
Santosburg. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about
Say that.
So here's the funny thing about the Santos thing. So he said that when he got caught for not actually being Jewish, he came out and said, "I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jew-ish."
Right. It's kind of like how Gwen Stefani
Came out and said she was Japanese.
right, said she's Japanese, and she's like, "Oh well, I'm like Japanese because I like the stuff.
Oh
I
my
like the
God.
culture."
Oh my God, that's hilarious stuff. Hilarious. Yeah, he said he meant Jewish. Exactly, Chris. Yes, Jewish. Yeah.
I mean, maybe in a DNA test he has like 0.2% Jewish.
I mean,
So he's really not lying.
Yeah, exactly. Stephanie actually picked me up when she said, Have you got a little Jewish in you? And I was like, no. And she's like, do you want some?
Do you want
Just kidding.
Jewish?
Just kidding. Steffi, cultural Jewish or religious? I would say
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's
growing
genetic
up,
or whatever.
I went to synagogue with my family just because that's what they did. And we celebrated most major holidays, Passover, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur.
Mhm.
But now as an adult, I'm more so culturally Jewish. I mean, I love the Jewish food. I like going to the deli. I like kugel.
If you're Jewish, all you need to do to be Jewish is just have your mother be Jewish, right?
Correct. Yeah. By Jewish law, if your mom's Jewish, then you're Jewish. So our kids will technically be Jewish,
Yeah.
whether or not they want to be.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. You want to have the Jewish kids because then they get they can get the roles in Hollywood. They can be, there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've really experienced any of those benefits. I don't
You
really
never
openly
applied.
say,
You
"Hey,
never
I'm
appl
Jewish, give
you
me
never
something."
applied. You could
Right.
have gotten the free trip to Israel,
Yes,
and
the
I think
birthright trip I could have gotten, and I still could probably get that even though I'm post age.
for sure. Well, but here's the thing. So we want to make sure our kids take advantage of that because
Mhm.
it's free trip to Israel, baby. Go get it.
Oh, absolutely. I
Mhm.
think it's up until you're 26,
Mhm.
I wanna say,
Mhm.
you can go.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Sprinkle it around, Steffi, says Al Johnson. Very funny this morning.
Jewish sprinkles.
Yes, for sure. So this George Santos guy. So here's the thing. So the Republicans have a House majority of one vote,
Okay.
one congressperson. George Santos is that one congressperson,
Oh
right?
my
So
gosh.
he's got caught in all these lies, right? And so so the Democrats are like calling for him to step down and all this kind of
Can
stuff.
a congressperson be impeached? Is that
I think they
possible?
can be recalled. They can be
Okay.
recalled, and they can be censured by their house, by their fellow representatives. And I think that there is a means by which they can essentially they strip them of committee assignments. There's all kinds of ways that members can punish other members. So I'm fairly certain that they're not going to be putting him on any important committees anyway. But the problem is that if you're a member of the Republican Party and you
Mhm.
don't want the Democrats to have a control of the House of Representatives, then because if I understand it correctly, the process by which if you have like let's say he resigned, I think the governor of New York would be the person who would choose,
Oh gosh.
and they would choose, obviously, a Democrat,
Right,
right?
I don't think we
Governor
want
Kathy
that.
Hochul of New York would choose, and right now George Santos is a Republican. So the
Mhm.
problem is that if he steps down, then the Republicans lose their one vote majority in the House of Representatives, and so it's kind of a sticky situation. So drag queen or no, if you're Mitch McConnell or Kevin McCarthy, you're like, dress dress and drag all you want,
Here's
baby.
the thing that I really wanna know. Does he support Drag Queen Story Hour? Now, since he is a drag queen, would he be okay with, going to read to little
Well,
children?
so here's the thing. So he lies about everything. So when
Yeah.
if he says he's not a drag queen, then he's probably was a drag queen, right? So you gotta just assume
Right.
the opposite. I don't know where he stands. Well, here's the thing. He supported. So the Democrats are attacking him for saying that he supported Florida's "Don't Say Gay" law, which wasn't a "Don't Say Gay" law, but
Mhm.
Joshua Berry. Good morning. He's joining us from Texas. Nice to see you, Joshua. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's nice to see you over there. It's cool because we don't get a lot of viewers on the other platforms on Facebook or anything like that.
Right.
On Twitter, we actually do, but you can't get the comments up on there. But the nice thing about this platform that I use to stream the show is that if you're on Facebook or a couple Twitch,
Yep.
then at least can feel that you're included because your comments do pop up in the live chat on the show.
For sure. Like that
Yeah.
name we can't say that has to do with bodily functions. They're always on Twitch.
Uh,
Poop.
Semen?
No, poop.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah,
you
yeah.
noticed that in
Wet
here?
farts poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can't say we can't say his name. We can't say his name whenever we're talking to Judge Napolitano. So if he has,
Right. Right.
so yeah, that's for sure. Thanks for subscribing.
Oh,
Yeah, Tunder 006.
wow.
Nice.
There's a lot of new people that I'm
Yeah,
seeing in there.
that's awesome. Yeah, they subscribed, and then the little ninja I think came up. Oh no, 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 not the ninja. When somebody subscribes to the
Uh-huh.
YouTube channel, then they get the little astronaut comes up and gives the little salute.
Nice.
But when they become a member of the channel, which is basically a paid subscription, then they get the ninja kick, the karate ninja kick.
Is it a
Yes,
My Getty?
it is a mawashi getty.
Oh, that's my favorite actually.
You like
I
the mawashi getty the
like the
most?
Mawashi Getty. I feel most powerful
Yeah,
doing it.
for sure. Should we set up the stream a little bit later and have Stephanie show off some of her karate later in the show?
In a dress.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see Stephanie do a little bit of karate later? I can, like, towards the last segment, I can just change the camera angle so that you can see Stephanie doing a little bit of karate.
View of my legs while
Yeah.
I'm doing the karate.
Yeah, for sure. Which would be nice. All right, no, we like it. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. We've got lots of great guests and topics today. Actually, we've got one other great guest, but Stephanie is a great guest. We're gonna
Multiple guests in one. I can change personalities.
For sure. We're going to have a Catholic professor from Ave Maria University to talk about a piece that he wrote in the National Review that I've been mentioning in the last couple of weeks. And I've been, trying to get this James Patterson on the show. He wrote a piece called "No to Neo-Integralism," which sounds like the most boring thing ever, but
Yeah, it sounds very highbrow.
it is. We're gonna up the IQ on the show
Mhm.
about 100 points. We're gonna go
Wow.
from 0 IQ, George Santos was in drag, ha ha ha,
Right.
to 150, 250 IQ, James Patterson, Ave Maria University, noted neo-integralism, church and state, reactionaryism, all
Mhm.
libertarianism, conservatism, church and state, all this kind of stuff.
We'll
It's
see
gonna
if I can keep up.
yeah, it's gonna be big, 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 super big brain time at 8 a.m. But that gives you plenty of time to get your coffee ready.
That's right.
It gives you plenty of time to sip that coffee, maybe get yourself a little bit of breakfast, right? Time to wake up, because by the time we get to 8 a.m., then you'll be ready for James Patterson.
Well, I don't know. You got to be in a negative mood too. We're going to be talking about that. Negative mood helps you focus.
That's right, because coming up next, we're going to talk about curmudgeons.
Yeah.
Grouchy people, apparently, are more productive. It's science. You can't disagree with that.
Or maybe you can.
We will when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today.
Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit apforlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Joining us in studio for Family Friday is my lovely Freedom Bride, Stephanie Peterson. Nice
Can you
to
hear
see
me now?
Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Stephanie.
Commercial. Was that a cell phone commercial? Yeah.
Yes.
Good times.
It was a good time. Thanks for joining us on the Wake Up America show. You can send us a text at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. The text line is open. Alternatively, you can also send us a super chat over on YouTube, youtube.com/AP for Liberty. Yesterday, someone sent us a text message for the very first time. Eric.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't get to respond to it. Did you hear us talking to Edie yesterday about Kellogg's cornflakes at the end of the show?
I missed that.
Okay, you missed that one. It was a really good one. Well, haven't I ever told you the story about why Kellogg's cornflakes were invented?
Oh gosh.
I have.
think you have, and I forgot.
Okay.
Remind me again.
Well, it's a little bit. So, have I ever explained to you what onanism is?
Oh gosh.
Do you remember like one of the reasons
Don't
that was?
remember.
Remember when they canceled my show on that network out in St. Louis?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember why you heard on the phone what was said that bothered people out in St. Louis?
Yeah.
And do you remember what was it?
The thing I did?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That's onanism.
Okay.
Okay.
What does onanism mean? What's the definition?
Well, it's the definition is what you said on the air that got us in trouble. Because we canceled. Yeah, go ahead. It's my own show. We don't have to worry about it.
Masturbation.
Oh.
Troll.
Yes. That's
Sorry, guys.
So I like to call it onanism because it's just a funny word, right?
Onanism is masturbation?
Yes.
Really? Wow. Mind blown.
Yeah, this is
I was 34 years old when I learned this. Wow.
a biblical term. So because there's a guy in the Bible named Onan, and God commands him to impregnate his husband's wife. No.
Whoa.
No.
Whole other can of worms.
Yeah, Steffi's
Why
like,
are you gay?
no. No, he did not have a husband. He had a brother. God commanded Onan to impregnate his brother's wife.
Oh.
Because his brother was not able to do so. So
Okay.
God told Onan to do it. Well, Onan didn't want to, so he slept with his brother's wife, but he did not Onan.
Do the things
He did
inside
not.
of
He
her.
did not Onan inside of her.
Okay.
And so
gotcha,
God
gotcha.
punished him. But onanism is considered to be like that thing that you said that got us in trouble in St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't like.
Late to cornflakes.
So long story short, let's roundabout here. The Kellogg's cornflakes were developed specifically for the purpose of stopping young people from engaging in onanism.
No.
Yeah.
How?
How? What do you mean how? This
Why
isn't
would
obvious?
cornflakes make you not sexually interested anymore?
Yeah. So because it's supposed to be because Kellogg and his brother thought that bland food prevented you from getting horny.
Diet does probably have a lot to do with how your system works. Sure.
Yeah, it was kind of quackery essentially. Like they thought spicy foods made you horny. It's the same.
Oh,
It's the
the
same. It's
spice.
the same kind of thing. Aphrodisiacs.
Yes.
So it's not a real thing.
Like oysters.
Yeah.
Or vanilla.
Or chocolate.
Oh, yes.
Stuff like
yes.
that.
I mean, that gets me. I don't know.
It doesn't do anything. It just
Mhm.
you're just like that all the time anyway. But the point is that aphrodisiacs are not a thing. Anyways, and the whole point of this was I was supposed to read the text from Eric.
Oh, God. Was he talking about masturbation?
But please stop saying that
Okay.
word, okay?
Sorry.
Will you please
We will
just
now say onanism.
onanism? Yes, exactly. Every time you say that M word, some lady out there in the audience goes.
I know, right?
He said, Eric here, your Kellogg topic was interesting. I learned recently that John Kellogg was a big reason why America is a country that practices circumcision, where most other countries don't. It's true. So
Really?
one of the major reasons that we don't is because that we one of the
do.
well, yes, one of the major
Okay.
reasons why the United States circumcises is because we were told in the early 1900s that it would prevent young people from onanism.
Really?
I'm not kidding. It's all true. You don't have to believe me. Look it up. The facts are out there. But it's
So if
absolutely
you
true.
circumcise, that prevents you from onanism.
It's supposed to it helps to discourage you from onanism.
Yeah.
It's also a Jewish tradition that's supposed to make you closer to God.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
processing
a
this
story
right now.
there's a story in the Bible, I think, where I don't know if it was Samson, but some other like messenger of God or servant of God slays 1,000 Philistines, and
Mhm.
the way that he proved that he killed 1,000 Philistines was he cut all their foreskins off and laid them in a pile. So there's
Wow.
in the Bible they talk about this pile of foreskins. I'm pretty sure. Check me on that one.
That is
This
something.
conversation has gone way too far, I think, this morning.
Not at all. I
Yeah.
mean, this is really fascinating stuff.
Yes. Seinfeld taught me mango was an aphrodisiac, says Michael Nip. We've been watching Seinfeld.
The neighbor came over with a mango and he's like, try this mango.
Yeah.
Try this mango. This is the best mango you've ever had.
No, that was cantaloupe. That was Kramer. Stephanie had never seen Seinfeld ever before, so I think
Yeah.
we've only gotten through the first we've only gotten through the first
Yeah, the first what do you call it?
the first season. Yeah. So she's still she only recently just saw the show that's where they talk about having hand, speaking of onanism, where she's like and the hand in the relationship. Yeah. And so he breaks up with her to get the hand, and then she finds out that the Pez dispenser that made Elaine laugh was it was Elaine that was laughing at her concert.
She broke up with him.
And then he's like, you can't break up with me, I've got hand. And she's like, and you're gonna need it. Onanism. We need to, it's time to stop. Okay. You can text the show at 573-319-1586. This is all because of a text from Eric, who sent in.
Thank you, Eric.
He says, I wonder what your opinion is on circumcision as a libertarian that also understands and respects the belief of Abrahamic religions. Great show today. Thank you very much. So my belief is that I believe circumcision is immoral. And the reason why is because it's young, for the same reason I don't think you ought to be cutting up kids to make them transgender.
Right.
Right. It's, if all leftists would have to do to legitimize the mutilation of children is say, it's our religion.
Exactly.
And the problem is that conservatives, ironically, have been talking about how wokeism is a religion.
Mhm.
So by conservatives saying wokeism is a religion, they've legitimized the idea that leftism is a religion and that wokeism is a religion. So if they want to cut up their kids, they just say, hey,
Right, don't disrespect my woke.
Right. And then some people will say, well, let's compare it to getting a child's ear pierced or something like that. Ear piercing is reversible.
Right, exactly. You can't exactly put the foreskin back on. Maybe you could sew it on.
God.
But
But
might
no,
not look right.
and what's really interesting too is when you bring up this topic, there are a lot of men out there who get very upset and angry when you
Sure.
talk about it, you
'Cause
know?
it's a big part of their family history. I
Yeah,
mean, all
it
the
is.
men before them got circumcised.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of men do it too,
Yeah.
to their kids because they're like, "Well, I wanna, I did, so we should do it to him too," and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of women too. I mean, they're biased in that they think circumcised parts
Mhm.
are more attractive.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they almost look at uncircumcised parts as like, "Ugh, that's weird."
Yeah, Kate Nicole, first time seeing her on the stream. Nice to meet you, Kate. She agrees. She says it's absolutely immoral. Stop cutting off parts of healthy babies. Yes, I
Right.
agree. I agree with you.
Sure, I mean, they can't express their pain. I mean, they're certainly crying when it happens.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's
the Jewish
unnatural.
religion, we give them wine to help numb.
Ugh.
And they also do circumcisions in the hospital. When I used to work at the hospital, there was a circumcision room.
Mhm,
And so, sure, a doctor does it, but
mhm.
I don't know. That would still hurt, I
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah, no, it hurts. I think it's wrong.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the question is, how do you do this without respecting Abrahamic religions? I mean, the problem is that Abrahamic religions, I mean, you don't get an exception for child abuse. You don't get an exception to do all kinds of things in the name of religion.
Right.
Kinds of things you can't do to kids because it's your religion. I mean, Catholic priests and little boys, what's our religion? Well,
Too, I mean, I say, okay, if you're against clitoral mutilation,
hmm
then
yeah,
why not be against
exactly,
circumcision?
exactly.
How
And
is it different?
well, what's funny is that there's actually, what's her name? She is a former Muslim, now atheist scholar.
Mhm.
Her name escapes me at the moment. She is a prominent conservative speaker and author who has spoken out against not just female genital mutilation, but male genital mutilation.
Mhm.
Mutilation. If somebody can remind me of her name, she's I don't know. She's Middle Eastern, but
Okay.
I think she's very dark-skinned, conservative woman. Dang, I can't remember her name, but if somebody can send it in, I would be super appreciative because I can actually pull up the clip of her talking about it.
Yeah.
She actually argues that circumcision is worse for boys.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Than
yeah.
for girls?
Libertarian Republic circumcision. I've actually written about this before
Hmm.
in the past.
I mean, I know that medically they say, oh, you have a smaller chance of getting STDs. You're able to keep yourself
Wear a condom.
cleaner.
Wear a condom.
Exactly.
Yeah, wear a condom. It's easy. Um, wow, yeah, I did like a whole video. I did back in the Freedom Report days, my previous podcast. I talked about circumcision. There's a whole video from back in the day. Female practices like old school. Wow, look at this.
Oh my gosh, I love
I'm
your old
so
school
young.
stuff.
Oh, so young and skinny and handsome. Anti-circumcision.
They do say when a man is circumcised, he doesn't feel the sensations as much.
It's true. You
Mhm.
lose sensitivity,
Mhm.
for sure. Something to think about. Somebody send us text. Please let me know what the name of that lady is. Hold on. Circumcision conservative Middle Eastern woman. I'm like doing my what's her name?
You're letting the AI
Male
try to
is
figure it out.
worse. No, I'm not. You know what? I could use that actually. Ask Merlin. Search a botched circumcision. You know what? I'm gonna ask the artificial intelligence. Who I know I feel stupid here. I tell you what, let's go to commercial break. I'm gonna find that clip. We're gonna go to a commercial break. When we get back, I'll play that clip for you, and we'll talk about that. Lord, AP, give me a heart attack. I don't know why.
Is that in the text?
And Henry, yeah, go check. You're gonna have to go hang out in the chat room during the commercial break. We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here. And we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Hey there, it's your favorite Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to talk to you today about the Wake Up America show, the best source for all your political news and commentary. But before I get started, let me just make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, where was I? All right, the Wake Up America show. It's a great way to stay informed and make your voice heard. Boy, what was I saying again? Oh, right. The Wake Up America show. It's important that we all stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on in our country and, the thing. But hold on, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. The Wake Up America show. It's a fantastic resource. And if you really want to make a difference, man, you can sign up to be a monthly donor at wakeupAmericaShow.com/support. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, the Wake Up America show. So if you want to stay woke and support a great cause, head on over to wakeupAmericaShow.com/support and sign up to be a monthly donor today. And if you're feeling generous, you can even give a donation in my name. Thanks for listening, and keep on keeping on, America. Come on, man.
Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself or me mom, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great! Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me Pops build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. Welcome to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Glad to have you here. Joining us in studio is my lovely bride, Stephanie Peterson. Good morning, Steffi.
Good morning.
Well, this has turned into a really lively chat this morning, hasn't it?
This really has. We were going to talk about negative moods, and now we somehow moved on to penis talk. I mean, I kind of like it.
Well, it was our discussion. I know you do. It was our discussion about the text message that we got from one of our listeners yesterday, because they were asking about Kellogg and why he invented Kellogg's cornflakes as a way to prevent young people from onanism.
Right.
And I did go ahead and find that clip of the conservative activist was Ayaan Hirsi Ali. Okay. But what I found was that actually there were more people who have come out and said that they believe male circumcision. One was buffering. Reconnection successful. Here we are.
I think they can see us.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
We're back.
Oh, we're back.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Huh?
Internet. Yes, we're back. And of course, we do post all the shows, and we record
the whole stream. So even if it goes down, or whatever, we can't see it. We come back and I always post like the full show
Right.
and stuff, and the audio as well.
Yeah, because we have this device recording us in the background.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so anyways, so the activist I was talking about was conservative activist by the name of Ayaan Hirsi Ali, but they didn't hear us because we were offline there for a second. Candace Owens who she works for. You said she worked for the government.
She was a politician, honestly.
Well, no, she kind of is, but Candace Owens came out and said that circumcision was barbaric, and she works for Ben Shapiro.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Candace Owens from the Daily Wire. I don't think you're thinking of maybe the same person.
Maybe it's a name that sounds very similar.
Yeah, for sure. Candace Owens, she works for Ben Shapiro, and even the internet doesn't want you talking about onanism, says Kay Moore. Yeah, good point. But this is, I found this clip. I think it's not in English, but it's subtitled. This is Ayaan Hirsi Ali. Let's take a listen to this. Let's see if I can actually get this to play.
Nou is mijn vraag, is niet een
My
incisie
question is,
van een
is an incision
clitoris
in the
heel goed te vergelijken
Dolores
met
very
een
similar to male
jongensbesnijdenis? Althans,
circumcision?
Ik denk dat jongensbesnijding ernstiger
I
is
think
dan
male
de
circumcision
incisie
is
op
worse
de
than the
clitoris
incision
van
of the
een
girl.
meisje. Bij een jongen wordt heel wat weggehaald.
boys, a
En
lot of
afhankelijk
skin is
inderdaad
removed,
van
depending
hoe
on
dat
how it's
gebeurt in derde wereldlanden waar
In
hygiënische
third world
omstandigheden
countries, for
slecht zijn en
instance, where
waarbij de
there's poor
mensen die de
hygiene,
operatie
where the people who
uitvoeren
carry it out don't possess the necessary
niet
skills,
beschikken over de vaardigheden, kan het
the consequences can
ernstiger
be
aan
worse for
toegaan
boys
met een
than for
jongen dan bij
girls.
een meisje.
Right, because
Een meisje
circumcision
wordt
helps prevent
met een
UTI's.
scherp voorwerp
With
in de
girls, a
clitoris
sharp object
geprikt.
is pricked into
Er
the
komt wat
clitoris,
bloed
it
uit
bleeds a little,
en dan is de
and
hele
the whole
familie
family
tevreden
is
en zien haar
satisfied
als
and she's
rein.
declared pure.
En
Strictly
strikt
speaking,
genomen
that
is die
procedure is less
operatie minder
traumatic than
ernstig
male
dan een
circumcision.
jongensbesnijding.
Today, very important
There you go.
video. How to
Yeah,
cook
I don't know
steak.
much about genital mutilation for women, but I think that makes it so you can't feel any sensation in your clitoris. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Camelia's over there playing with the chat bot. She added a quote: "Marriage is a wonderful institution, but who would want to live in an institution?" H.L. Mencken tags marriage. So she's learning how to use the streaming on the spot. Good job, Steph. A good job there, Camelia.
Yeah, I used the 8-ball bot to ask if I'm going to have fun in Japan, and it's like, are you kidding? So it really knows what's up.
Yeah. You can send us a text at 573-319-1586. Chris Morrill says, "Well, I thought that female circumcision removed the clitoris in some instances."
I
Yes.
thought so too.
Ayaan Hirsi Ali was from Somalia, so they may do it in a different way. Muslims are not monolithic, just like Christians are not monolithic, just like Jews are not monolithic, right? They're not all the same. So
Yeah.
different sects and stuff.
I
do
mean,
different
either
things.
way, it's painful
Mhm.
and it messes with your sexual pleasure.
It does, yeah, and you shouldn't do it because it's immoral and a crime against a person who's committed, who has doesn't have the chance to make a choice. They should be able to make a conscious choice. It's my opinion.
But get your pet spayed or neutered.
But get your pet spayed or neutered. It is funny. Yeah, no, exactly. It is kind of funny too, with like the whole like conservative crusade against cutting kids for like transgender reasons, but. You can cut them for that reason. That's fine. Yeah, you can cut them for that reason. Just don't cut them. Yeah, don't cut them so that they want to, be an opposite gender. Cut them for this reason. As long as you cut them for religious reasons, right?
Right.
I'm really curious to talk to James Patterson. He's an associate professor at Ave Maria University, and he wrote a piece at National Review that's absolutely fascinated me. Like the major debate on the right in the Republican Party right now is between, if there is a philosophy behind MAGAism, which I don't really think of Donald Trump as an ideologue, but the people who have attached themselves to him mostly and who see him sort of like as like the sort of what do you call a philosopher, or the sort of evangelizer for this belief, national conservatism.
Right.
So national conservatives and integralists or reactionaries on the right see libertarians as the problem, right? That libertarians have had too much power, and that
they too much power.
Yes.
When were we ever in power?
Even Stephanie.
I mean, sure, Ron Paul was in government, but like, did he really pass that much stuff? I don't think so. I would love for libertarians to be in power. That'd be great.
Right, for sure. Anyways, the neo-integralists argue that we need to have we need to break down the wall of separation of church and state. Essentially, that we need to establish Catholicism as the official religion of the United States. and that's integralism. So we'll integrate church and state more closely together.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big no thank you on this one. But if a professor from Ave Maria University is writing an article like that, arguing about why we should not have the his religion becoming the official religion of the United States, that's an interesting situation for me.
I think he likes his religion, so he'd be like, why not share it with everyone else?
Right, and I asked the judge about this as well, and you heard his take on that as well.
He didn't want to do that either.
Yeah, no, because he's a libertarian. But I mean, everybody knows the judge is like this. But someone who works as a professor at Ave Maria University, I think that it's somebody that we should, somebody we should listen to. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that question as well. Send us a text 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. Everybody is Everybody is asking about the Steven Crowder situation. You've seen me kind of watching these videos in the last couple of days.
Yeah, we were actually watching him talk the other day.
Yeah, we watch. So I've been, I do all this research on this stuff, and sometimes I wonder whether it's worth bringing up on the show, because even though we just tangent about circumcision and all this kind of stuff, typically I try and only bring up topics on the program, the Wake Up America show, that I think actually matter to people, and I know that
we want
to be relevant, right? So we're talking about things that I think really matter in your life. And, does a contract dispute between Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire change anything or make any difference in their lives? I really don't know.
But we love the drama. It's like a soap opera.
I guess so. And here's the thing. And I know that, a lot of people are coming down on different sides of this. Some people are picking sides between Daily Wire. Some people are picking sides with Steven Crowder. Frankly, I think, they both made good points, but I think ultimately Crowder is wrong for doing what he's done and going out. Yeah, because here's the thing. If you don't like somebody's contract or something like that, walk away. Right? He thinks he's kind of like trying to make this a moral crusade, like he's defending like young people from these contracts and things. And certainly young people do get screwed out of these contracts. But the problem is, and maybe check me on this one, but yet last night Crowder dropped another video where he like played audio of his conversation with the CEO of Daily Wire.
Recorded
his
conversation?
Yeah.
I wonder if the CEO knew he was recording.
It doesn't sound like it. I doubt it. But here's
That's not cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's cool at all, actually. But here's the thing. So, but Crowder thinks he's on a moral crusade and that what he's doing is right. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt for a moment. Here's the thing. I think Steven Crowder mentioned last night in the video that he said, if somebody comes, if they hire some new talent with 500,000 subscribers or whatever, then they could potentially lose all this money if they get demonetized on YouTube because Daily Wire wouldn't pay them. That was part of the contract.
Yeah, that was the part that we were talking about last night, was he gets paid less if he doesn't get as much traction online.
Right. But
and people thought that was unfair. Like, oh, why should Daily Wire do that to its employees?
Right. So, but here's the thing. Like Daily Wire takes a humongous financial risk going out there and, investing $50 million into Steven Crowder. And if they lose monetization from YouTube, then they lose money, and that's just what it is.
Money comes from.
But Crowder says,
from a tree.
Right. But Crowder says, oh, well, it does come from a tree because it's paper. Haha.
To do whatever we want.
Exactly. But the thing is that with Crowder's argument is that it's morally wrong to do this because you're essentially bowing down to big tech. Well, the reality is that that's the Daily Wire's business model, is to monetize traffic from these social media sites. So if they lose money, it's not. Yeah, they're not a nonprofit, right? Right. Steven Crowder essentially is, like Jeremy Boring said, he's the CEO of Daily Wire, said he's looking for a benefactor. He's not looking for an employer. He's somebody. You can't take those kinds of massive risks of money and then lose it. If somebody takes a hit, we all take a hit, right?
Right.
And so the question is that, is it, if a young person comes to the Daily Wire with 500,000 subscribers or what have you, I think is what Crowder's example was, they would be taken advantage of if they signed a contract with the Daily Wire. What young person with 500,000 subscribers is going to join a network and not know that they, and not be making money hand over fist already? I mean, you'd have to be pretty stinking naive. smart enough to get 500,000 subscribers, dumb enough to sign a contract that you lose 25% of your salary if you get demonetized on YouTube. So maybe Crowder's example there is a little bit, I think, off, right?
Maybe he didn't read his contract.
Well, he
well
did.
enough?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I give them the.
Because why did he agree to it in the first place?
I'd like to give them both the benefit of the doubt because I like them both. I like Ben Shapiro and I like Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like here's the thing. They're kind of like, oh, I'm doing this as a moral crusade, not for publicity or whatever. It's like, dude, you're monetizing those videos, right?
Of course.
They're all like, getting attention and traffic and money from talking about this publicly and the drama. They're monetizing the drama. They are.
Two options. One, silently walk away and just do his own thing and not talk bad about Daily Wire.
Right. Chris Morrill says, when in doubt, I would side with Shapiro. Probably me too, because Shapiro is a intellectual, and I don't agree with Shapiro on a lot of things. There's, he's a little bit more war hawkish and things like that. And
Politically, he's a little different.
Whereas, Crowder is a comedian, right? But Shapiro is not. What does that make me? I don't know. Send us a text 573-319-1586. I'm gonna go get that professor friend of ours.
Great.
Time to go get James Patterson. He is, and we're gonna up it. I hope you've had your coffee and maybe a couple of eggs, because guess what? We're about to big brain the out of you.
Yeah, get your notebooks and your pencils.
Yeah,
We're going to start taking notes.
Write it down, because we're going to talk to a Catholic professor about why Catholicism should not be the official religion of the United States.
Okay.
All that and more on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Good morning to the Cantina crew. This is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America Show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
If I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors, what would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. It is Family Friday, which means that my lovely wife, Stephanie, is joining us in studio. Stephanie, thanks for sticking around with us. All right. It's Friday, and it's about time to up the IQ level, about 150 points here. Have you had your coffee yet? Maybe a couple of eggs? Well, if you haven't, it's too late anyway, because we're joined now by James Patterson. He's an associate professor at Ave Maria University, as well as a string of other titles that I just don't have time to read here yet. Good morning, Dr. Are you a Dr. Patterson?
Yes. I managed to get through a PhD program.
Good. Well, Dr. Patterson from Ave Maria University joining us now. Thank you for coming on the program today. You've written a piece.
My pleasure.
You've written a piece that wouldn't typically get a lot of attention from news shows like these, Dr. Patterson, but as a sort of a libertarian Republican, I find myself sort of ensconced in this battle where national conservatives, reactionaries, populist Republicans, MAGA Republicans are at war with my wing of the party. They reject the legacy of Ronald Reagan. They reject this idea that that America's founding is one that is embedded with the principle of church and state. They argue we should integrate your faith into the American government. What is your response to this?
Well, the piece is pretty, I would describe as hostile to this idea. Its title of it in National Review is No to Neo-Integralism. The term refers to the effort to render the state subject to Catholic theology or to Catholic teachings. And this is not even what the Catholic Church wants. So I'm not sure why they want it if they proclaim to be Catholics. But it's not just that they want this, it's that they, as you said, repudiate the idea of constitutional republicanism and even concepts of human dignity and citizenship. So it's a pretty radical group, relatively small for now, but with an outsized influence. I mean, they get to publish things in the New York Times relatively frequently, for example.
Yes, as a matter of fact, they do. Neo-integralists, or I call them integralists, reject the founding principles. What do you mean when you say that?
So the founding principles of the Republic are the idea of an unalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which are the basis for human life, right? You can't assign to the state some other role for it. Like you can't have it go to church for you. You can't have it eat for you. These are things that are inherent in the person. And so when you attempt to allocate to the state your conscience, That's impossible. It's metaphysically impossible. So what ends up happening is you just create grounds for tyranny. So if you're a person who is like Presbyterian and the state is integralist Catholic, then you as a baptized Presbyterian would be subject to the state jurisdiction for enforcing religious orthodoxy. And if you refuse to convert, then you would be subject to civil penalty. And this model of church-state relations is one that the Catholic Church itself has repudiated and never fully embraced. Only certain factions within it did for a certain amount of time.
If populists, reactionaries, national conservatives, integralists, if they had power, what would happen to the Jews?
Well, that's something in the piece I go into great lengths to describe. The Jewish question is reopened by integralism. I never know what to call it either. I'll call it integralism just for consistency. So the Jews are then subject to disenfranchisement. According to the political theorists Alan Phimister and Thomas Crean, who are integralists, baptism confers citizenship. So that would mean that if you're a Jew or if you're a Muslim, if you're not baptized or a member of any religion, then you don't get to be part of the state at all. Instead, you're subject to civil sort of modification of your way of life over which you have no control. Oddly enough, when Phimister and Crean make this argument in their book on integralism, they don't cite any sources for this, which is weird. You would think they would want to make an extreme claim. They'd want to have a rather substantial amount of support, but it's just their opinion. And so that's what they want more than what anyone else wants.
This version of social conservatives statism is alien to the American experiment. It has a lot more in common with European Toryism. Am I correct?
Yeah, and even then, like most of your average Tories wouldn't have been fond of this, except maybe on the most extreme margins, like real high Tory Anglicans. The examples for this that I've written about in other articles are people like Francisco Franco in Spain, Antonio Salazar in Portugal. These are somewhat obscure figures for most people, like unknown figures for most people, but they were right-wing authoritarian dictators in the middle of the 20th century who used this kind of integralist ideas in order to preserve their political authority, as well as to deny people like the ability to engage in international trade or to associate freely. And it was also bound up in other governments like in Brazil, Argentina, and Austria. So it's a very strange, very foreign ideology, not one that Americans have ever, even American Catholics have ever considered all that worthwhile. So it's odd that it's coming up now.
Is it their hostility towards the free market, their hostility towards international free trade? Is that part of the reason for their infatuation with former President Donald Trump?
So you have it exactly right. People who are neo-integralists like Gladden Papin, Patrick Deneen, Adrian Vermeule, they don't just focus on theological and moral issues, especially Papin. He focuses on creating state corporate partnerships. He advocates for corporatism, in which the state essentially partners with large corporations, provides them benefits that strengthen the corporations in exchange for the revenue and opportunities that these corporations provide. This is a model of economics that was used in such economic powerhouses as Argentina, which is, in a state of economic decline. And Franco tried it as well, and it was the first thing he reversed. And this idea of protectionism was very much part of Trump's initial campaign. He tried it with tariffs. And so what integralists were trying to do is they're trying to essentially freight in intellectual support for the policies that Trump advocated without maybe the thoroughgoing sense of how to ground them. So that was their effort. Unfortunately, these policies mostly just impoverish people.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Peterson, I'm speaking to James Patterson. If you have a question for the professor, associate professor of Ave Maria University. You can send us a text at 573-319-1586, and I'll try and read your text message before he gets off the air. You can also send us a super chat over on YouTube. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so that you can get notifications whenever we are live. We're grateful to have all of our viewers that are over there this morning joining us on the program. We're speaking to Dr. Patterson about a piece that he wrote in the National Review titled "No to Neo-Integralism," and this piece that he wrote has been the subject of a large number of discussions on this program. I've spoken to Judge Andrew Napolitano. He's a pre-Vatican II Catholic himself and a libertarian who argues against this. Neo-integralism as well. But as these things sort of trickle down into the public's sphere, or and more are sort of they become less philosophical discussions, Dr. Patterson, and they become more political. We do see that there are mainstream politicians, some who have been elected as recently as the failure of the red wave recently, but politicians like J.D. Vance, senators like Josh Hawley, and others, they advance perhaps a little bit less overtly religious form of their philosophy, but this national conservatism, which I would say is tightly contained within the sort of this group of populists, integralists, national conservatives, and things like that. Many of these now mainstream politicians are holders of these ideas. So earlier you had said that you thought that it was more of a fringe movement, but I see it as a larger threat perhaps than you do. Why would you say that you would think that this is a smaller threat? I mean, do you see this ideology as being advanced by some of these politicians as I do?
So I wouldn't have written this piece if it was a fringe movement. It's more that when I said that the discussion feel as though it's on the fringe. Maybe I misspoke. But as you point out, it's actually got a fair amount of interest. And the way that it influences is not by advancing a majoritarian approach, right, where you try to persuade large swaths of the United States. Rather, what you attempt to do is what Adrian Vermeule refers to as integration from within. So rather than persuading large numbers of groups of people, what you do instead is you try to influence conservative elite culture. So who staffs the Vance office, for example? You need to, Vance has never run for office. He doesn't know necessarily how to do these things. So the people who get staffed in his office will often be people who've been at least acculturated into this way of thinking, if not out and out true believers. And some of the policies that you'll see advanced that sort of signify that you're dealing with someone influenced by this is a discussion of bans on pornography, which I'm not against, but I know more libertarian people would be. But that's usually used as an entry point because it has enough of an overlap with generally conservative people that it can be a starting point for persuading people for more radical positions like severely constraining free trade and privileging certain firms over others, and most especially isolationism. Vance, of course, got himself into a lot of trouble by saying he doesn't really care much about the people of Ukraine. So that's the broader mission here, which is essentially to retool conservatism to be more reactionary and less internationalist.
Well, social conservative statism is obviously a direct threat to my own philosophical principles. Me being I wouldn't call myself a classical liberal if we're going to be technical here. I'm more of a minarchist. The classical liberals are those who might agree with perhaps like a limited welfare state. But when you talk about, banning pornography, you say you're not against something like that. As a social conservative yourself, I mean, where do you draw the line between, when you say, okay, well, I'm not against pornography bans or things like that, but well, this goes a little bit too far. I mean, in terms of, the founding principles, I can imagine that, the whores of the bars of Philadelphia were the furthest things from the mind of John Adams and George Washington when writing the Constitution.
But not Ben Franklin, right? Sorry.
Or Governor Morris, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What one man could do with one leg.
Yeah.
So the line historically has been a very difficult one to draw. This is like the favorite conversation at bars between libertarians and social conservatives. So, the way that I see it is that choices have goods, right? So whenever you're making a choice, it's to secure some kind of good. Goods are not merely utility, so that it's not that all goods are neutral. Some of them are, beneficial to you. Some of them may be harmful to the population. So, for example, a firm that wants to choose what's good for it may dump a bunch of poison into the water. That's bad, right? So there are constraints that we have here because of our obligations to others. In the case of pornography, you're dumping poison into the minds of people, and so there should be limitations or bans depending on the extent to which the damage can be measured. And so that's just the simple version that I have here. Unfortunately, it's not so easy, right? And so one of the signatures of a lot of integralists and national conservatisms is ignorance of governance and how to achieve consensus. They simply want to work the will that they have, the libido dominandi, as St. Augustine put it, and have
power, the lust to dominate.
Yeah, and no understanding that simply because you choose it doesn't mean that you get what you want. For example, the idea that you could have a monarchy in the United States, something shared among many integralists, is really just a demonstration that they want to rule directly over the people. But if you've paid attention to like how the Saudi monarchy works, it isn't that easy, right? If you look at what Kim Jong-un has to do in North Korea in order to preserve his power, he doesn't just get to do whatever he wants and there are still benefits. So really a big part of what you're seeing here is the refusal to consider the issues as more complicated than they are. So I have like a principal opposition to pornography, but I understand that its banning is very difficult. Another one is Sabbath laws that they like to talk about. But of course, historically in the United States, Sabbath laws weren't really enforced unless there was a religious minority that didn't share it. So in New York, there was a Sabbath law, and it was largely just used to shake down Jews.
I'm not of the opinion that everything that is immoral ought to be illegal, but I'm also not in agreement with some libertarians who frequently say that, that the law should, that, your morals should, don't force your morality on others through the law, right?
Right.
You don't need to use the law to force your morality because, right, by having a law that says you shouldn't murder someone, you are enforcing a version of morality. This
Right.
puts me at odds with social conservatives and libertarians and sets me alone out on an island somewhere. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Peterson, I'm speaking to Dr. and Associate Professor at Ave Maria University, James Patterson. We're speaking about the movement in the United States on the right of social conservatives who believe that the Catholic Church should be more tightly integrated into the United States. I mean, essentially, the government of the United States. Essentially, what we're talking about here are people in the United States who believe that we should be a theocracy. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice one-word answer there. Stephanie, did you have any questions about any of this, Stephanie?
Well, I grew up Jewish, so that's my religion. So when you said what would happen to the Jews if, the Catholic religion took over the US, that really terrified me. It sounds like a nightmarish situation.
I mean, anti-Semitism in the Catholic Church. I mean, is this, I was raised a fundamentalist Southern Baptist. So my question for you is, James, is the tradition of anti-Semitism within the Catholic Church, is that a sectarian thing? I mean, are there some sects of Catholicism that are more explicitly anti-Semitic, or are some more friendly towards the Jews, or or would you say like these populists are specifically hostile to Judaism, or can you help us understand that a little bit more?
Sure, and sorry for the one-word answer, but there's just not something simple.
No,
There's
it's
nothing
fine.
complicated about that
simplicity.
question.
Yeah.
That's good for me.
It's just that's what they want.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
historically, American Catholics have not been terribly hostile to Jews. And the reason for this is that American culture has been predominantly Protestant. And so the experience that a lot of American Catholics have had has been on the receiving end of religious restraints. That we didn't have like religious tests for constitutional office, but colonies and early on states had restrictions on Catholics voting as well as Jews, and state sponsorship of religions, right? So all the way up into 1833, I think it was Massachusetts actually directly subsidized the Congregationalist Church in Harvard University as having an established church. So, during that period, you had like the convent burnings and the Bible riots against Catholics. And so Catholics under this experience developed much more of a robust sense of religious liberty, independence from state sponsorship. And this is very at odds with the Catholic experiences, say, in Spain and Austria, and to some degree in France. And so this is why Catholic integralism really is a function of those experiences. You have distressed Catholic majorities facing a rapid social change in Europe and parts of Latin America, and they're the ones that developed this idea of using unilateral power to suppress religious minorities and other forms of minorities in order to preserve their position. So what's funny is that in the United States, you have people like Venerable Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen referring to the Jews as our elder brothers in the faith, and calling for the defense of Jews during the Second World War, and proclaimed the desire that even if not everyone agrees on the faith, that they could at least meet on their knees in prayer for the end of the war. He was a big part of the formation of what ends up being called the Judeo-Christian consensus. This is where Protestants, Catholics, and Jews
By the
are
way,
more
like,
interested.
not to
Yeah.
interrupt you there, Doctor.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about that, but on the other hand, on the other side, and the sort of ideological errors that we're discussing today, on the other side of the war in the United States was someone like Father James Coughlin, who
Yes.
was proudly anti-Semitic, proudly pro-Hitler, proudly pro-Germany during the war. I mean, we're sort of what we're discussing today are sort of his progeny, if you will.
Yeah, that's I briefly allude to him in the article. I actually wrote something for the Acton Institute that explores the sort of the genealogy of Catholic integralism in the United States. There's Coughlin and there's Triumph Magazine, which are the 20th century high points before this. So it's been around a while, but the American Catholic experience has typically not been one that's emphatically statist. Instead, it's been one that's resisted state interventions because of their own experiences. And that's what makes this a hard sell even today for American Catholics. Often they look at you funny when you bring this stuff up. The figures that are often cited are European, like Papin likes to use a guy named Felix Sarda y Salvani, who is a Spanish priest and purveyor of the Judeo-Masonic conspiracy, which is a classic, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about these a lot this last week, my wife and I, and she doesn't know anything about like the protocols of the Elders of Zion.
Oh,
so
probably for the best.
Yeah, no, I know. We've been talking about conspiracy theories, and one of the ones that we discussed was the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and things like that. James, I'd like to kind of finish this conversation with a little
sure.
bit of discussion of how we can sort of like work together more, because I'm in a delicate position ideologically and politically, in the sense that I am like the kid, a devout secularist, and in calling myself an agnostic. It's it's a little bit of poison being a Republican in in such a way, but I like to sort of be a good example for my community. And I believe that the church should replace many of the roles that the government is doing right now in the form of charity, right? Replacing government welfareism with charity that would be done mostly by the churches or by, secular community groups, the Moose Lodge, right? The Elks Lodge, or, any of the Rotary groups and things like that. But, in seeing the rise of neo-integralism and seeing the rise of theocrats, right, those who don't believe in the separation of church and state, and feeling a sort of a hostility against, not only myself, being a secularist, but my wife being a Jew, I look back in history and time, and I see, for example, the example of the French revolutionaries, and how while I much more ideologically identify with the American Revolution, I sort of understand why the French revolutionaries upended the traditions of the Catholic Church at the time. Why they, converted, was it Notre Dame into a church of secularism in a sense,
Yeah.
right? Because as these theocrats gain in power and influence and authority, to me, they essentially become agents or tools of the state, right? And those who advocate for a form of Christian nationalism are in essence arguing for that very thing. which, you know, makes me less of an ally of the church, less of a believer that the church itself can be a force for good, and more a friend of a French Revolutionary style, which is, you know, storm the Bastille and Notre Dame and tear it down. You know, can we move back in the opposite direction and have more of a sort of a ceasefire in this winter, or are we headed towards an inevitable conflict?
So you've heard it before, right? What has conservatism conserved? Right, this sort of like this sort of talking point. It's conserved a lot. I think winning the Cold War is pretty good, but the you know, it's a W. But another problem with all of these organizations is where, I mean, these positions, is that where you've actually seen greater cooperation with the church and state is, as you said, there, you know, usually the desiccation of the church. Where's the Catholic Church in Spain? I mean, how's the Catholic Church doing in Brazil and Argentina, in Portugal? They're not doing well. And the reason is because the people of these countries regard the Catholic Church as an agent of right-wing state parties. And that's not good. But that is a direct consequence of joining church and state. And what's worse is that ideally, according to integralists, you have the church in charge, but really the state's in charge of the church. And so priests, bishops, and religious just become agents of state power. And this is just going to generate more antipathy for believers. So if you're a person like me who's a faithful Catholic, then the last thing you want is to see the state appropriate the church and use it towards political ends. So the joke that I make in the National Review article is, what is integralism conserved? The answer is European secularism. That's the only thing it's conserved. It hasn't conserved itself. And to the point where the only place where it gets any discussion seriously is in the United States. And so the
you bring. I should be cheering for the integralists.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a Portuguese scholar who said that he can't believe people in the United States think Salazar is a good idea for anything except to do the opposite of whatever he said.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, so the approach is that the secularist who wants to disestablish the church is actually a friend to the Catholic who wants to preserve it. By disassociating the church from the state, this church then gets to stand on its own 2 feet. It gets to manage its own affairs, and it gets to do its best to persuade the secularists, as well as anyone else, that they hold, you know, keys for the common good and spiritual salvation. Otherwise, the way that they'll use it rather than persuasion is they'll use state force, right? That doesn't work. All it does is ruin the church.
Yeah, I believe that the strength of the church is directly tied to its independence from the government, and that a stronger relationship of the church to the government would necessarily require it to be weakened in many ways. But I think you make a lot of good points here, Dr. Patterson. I could talk about this for hours, but
me too.
I know for a fact that that our listeners are going, all right, we got to move on to something else. Dr. Patterson, you've written a great piece over there at the National Review. I very much admire your work. I hope that you'll continue to do so and to go into great detail and lengths and stay involved in this, because I see you very much as an ally in this struggle. So thank you very much for your time today, for your good work. Have an excellent weekend, and good luck to you in your career.
You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What did you think of Dr. James Patterson? Send us a text, 573-319-1586. We'd love to hear from you about, do you like those kinds of discussions? We can do them more.
I do. I was really following it. I was understanding a lot of what he was saying.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, my ears perked up when he was talking about Jewish people, obviously, and I was picturing basically like North Korea or communist China. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to be taken away to the camps?
Yeah, probably.
Basically.
For sure, essentially. Chris Morrill over the live stream says, let's get back to fart jokes. All right, we will when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here. And we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Hey there, it's your favorite Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to talk to you today about the Wake Up America show, the best source for all your political news and commentary. But before I get started, let me just make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, where was I? All right, the Wake Up America show. It's a great way to stay informed and make your voice heard. Boy, what was I saying again? Oh, right. The Wake Up America show. It's important that we all stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on in our country and, the thing. But hold on, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. The Wake Up America show. It's a fantastic resource. And if you really want to make a difference, man, you can sign up to be a monthly donor at wakeupAmericaShow.com/support. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, the Wake Up America show. So if you want to stay woke and support a great cause, head on over to wakeupAmericaShow.com/support and sign up to be a monthly donor today. And if you're feeling generous, you can even give a donation in my name. Thanks for listening, and keep on keeping on, America. Come on, man.
Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself, or me mom, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great! Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me pups build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. We're also joined by Steffi.
We're back.
Yes, sorry. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get that I'm not like paying attention and I need to come back from the commercial break because we're talking about something else. Appreciate you all here. I see you guys, they're still fighting over in the comments about like Steven Crowder and his like subscriptions and how much somebody, you know, if you're on Timcast, how much does Timcast bring in from super chats and all that kind of stuff?
He brings in a lot. I mean,
yeah.
he only reads his super chats.
Yeah, well, he doesn't even like read all his super chats.
No, because when you were on Timcast, I was wishing you a happy anniversary because it was our anniversary weekend, and he didn't even read it, and I was so sad. I paid money for that.
I know.
Do something sweet.
Stephanie's got
emotional damage.
But yeah, so he gets so many super chats during his live streams that
it is crazy. I mean, his chats just go by so fast, it messes with my eyes. It like literally makes me dizzy, like a train is going by my face.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's a big deal.
Yes. So why do they not like that? Are they like envious of all the super chats?
No, they're not. What do you mean? Who like what?
The people who don't like all the super chats that people are getting.
No, I don't think anybody dislikes it. Nobody said they don't like the super chats. It's just that they're kind of arguing over like how much money you can make in the live stream. Yeah, and like, you know, who makes how much based on what they get from the streams and stuff like that.
Who knows? I mean, it's.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna pull it up on my. I'm gonna give a little bit of backside view here. Not my backside, but you know, backside.
I don't know how much money people generally give to Tim Pool, but I assume some people even give $50 donations at one time.
Oh, they give. I see them give $100 donations and stuff.
Right.
They give like crazy amounts.
So with simple math, I mean, he has like thousands. What is it like? Over 20-something thousand people watching at a time or more.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up my analytics so that the listeners can see, because like we have a lot to be proud of actually here on the Wake Up America show. There's been you know, a massive amount of people. I'm resizing it. I know you can't see that, guys, so I'm resizing it for you. So give me just a second. And I'll put it up there so you can see the whole deal, the whole schlemiel. Transition. Okay, cool.
It really isn't easy to make money on YouTube.
Oh,
When
it's
I
very
had my
hard.
YouTube channel for a good year and I used to make videos,
Yeah,
I didn't even get monetized.
it's very hard.
I couldn't even get to the 4,000 watch
just
hours.
to even get monetized on YouTube at all, so that you can even collect super chats.
Yeah.
So it's wicked hard.
I made more money from my Patreon account. People actually can give there.
And that's the same with me. So like, you know, what in terms of the Wake Up America show, we make more money on like people actually like donating, giving super chats and doing things like that. So that's kind of how we, you know, we make our coin. But you can see here, take a look. So the last 28 days for the show has been fantastic. Not just the Wake Up America show, but just the channel in general. You see, so in the last 30 days, we've made $213, and that's not from ads, right? It's not from ads at all. It's from like super chats, right? People, yeah, no, it's awesome. You know, $200, that'll pay some bills, you know. We've got the new lens coming in this weekend. I'm renting a lens for the camera for the one that's on Steffi, because it's very low quality, the one on Stephanie, and the one on me is very high quality. So I'm going to rent a lens this week and try it out and see if I like it. But yeah, so this will help pay for the lens if I buy it. But you can see here, say this hockey stick in terms of views. This is really exciting. So you can see this is the number of views. Look at that, 149% more than usual, right? Watch time is up 2.6 thousand more hours than usual. Subscribers in the last 30 days, 503, 192% up. And then revenue, I expected us to do better with revenue when the shorts are monetized starting in
very soon,
February 1st.
Yeah.
So all of my Guns of the President videos, which apparently the most popular one, we were kind of surprised, was FDR.
You know, I joke with you and I say, you're actually attracting liberals. You're attracting leftists.
Yeah, because FDR is so popular, even with
and with the
liberals.
pit bull clip as well, you were attracting people who love pit bulls because they were on that video just giving negative comment after negative comment.
So like making people angry is actually a good strategy in part, right? Not so much that you lose a lot of subscribers or anything like that.
So it's like a happy accident that you were not catering to our specific niche.
Yeah. The Franklin Delano Roosevelt videos got 78.6 thousand views. Look and see, since they're not like really monetized, it says 3 cents, but it's really zero. But they start monetizing those in February. But yeah, FDR has got 78,000 views. Crazy. So like most of these views have come from that one video, which has gone viral.
Yeah.
But this is good. This is really exciting because see the subscriber count here. See how we're trending up, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are watching the Wake Up America show this morning are news, right? We've got new people. Luke Sacker, right?
Yeah, I don't recognize that
Yeah,
name.
yeah, I don't recognize Luke Sacker, but we've got I keep seeing new names and faces in the
Mhm.
stream coming in all the time. So, we're just growing like crazy over here on the Wake Up America show. And they come in, they watch the streams, and they watch the shorts, they come in, they see the streams. So the rising tide is kind of lifting all boats, and it's nice to see. I mean, I'm excited. Every day I come home, I kind of show you the stats, and we get really excited about how things are going. So yeah, for sure.
That's how any business grows. It takes time. They always say when you start any business, give it at least 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause a lot of people don't even see any profits in a
Right.
2-year period.
Right. And we've also got, and we should talk about them right now since we're discussing this as well.
Yes.
We should talk about,
Money.
yeah, speaking about money, we should talk about our friends at Lear Capital.
Yes.
We're excited about our sponsor, Lear Capital, because they are helping us to stay afloat. They do a great. Lear Capital offers gold and silver packages to help you understand better how to invest in gold and silver. So if you want to learn more about investing in gold and silver, then one of the easiest ways that you can do it is just get this free informational packet from Lear Capital. If you go to learaustin.com, that's LEARAUSTIN.com, that's LEARAUSTIN.com, you can get that free informational packet. They'll send it to you in the mail, and then they'll send you more information about how to invest in gold and silver. It's really easy. You can also call their number, 1-800-885-2175. That's 1-800-885-2175. If you want to help support the show, totally free, then check it out.
Honestly, I wish I had known about them years ago when I first started buying my gold and silver, because I remember I went to my financial planner that I have stocks through, and I asked him, I'm like, what do you think about investing in gold? And he just really wasn't well versed in it. He really wasn't for it, because he's for more of like the aggressive investments.
Right.
And I was just turned off by that. I was just like, gosh, I really want to get some good advice. And so I just ended up going to like a gold shop, brick and mortar shop. But I wish that I would have known about Lear Capital.
Because you could just get that free info packet,
and they
right?
wouldn't have really been like, okay, get away, shoo, we don't want to talk about gold. They're knowledgeable about it.
Exactly. So here's what you should do. Visit learaustin.com. See that little gold down there on screen? It's easier to see it when Stephanie's there. There we go. LEAR. Yes, blends beautifully. learaustin.com. Visit learaustin.com and get that free gold packet. It's an easy way to learn more about gold. By the way, Luke Sacker says, hey, Austin and Steph. Austin, you called me on the phone back when you were running for prez. That's awesome, man.
So that was back in 2015, 16?
Yeah, it would have been, back in the day, 2015, 2016. Someone else.
Please do not forget those phone calls. I remember pretty much every place I was at when you would call me, and I would freak out if I missed the call.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to call you guys back and nobody answered because obviously it was a phone system that you were using.
By the way, Quest Fanning says, I loved Steph's YouTube channel.
Cute.
Fun history vids.
Loved making it too, and sometimes I talk to you about maybe making fun videos like what I used to do again.
So here's the thing. Somebody, Ann Henry says, wait till you have a couple million subs, then run for president again. Very funny. So what we should do is we should build a network. We should give the judge his own show before mine, and then we should give you your own cooking show.
I like that. And honestly, the thing that I love the most is travel vlogs. I like to go places and take my camera and just show people my experience.
Because it has to have obviously like a Liberty theme. We could have you do travel vlogs that are like historic travel vlogs, and you could go to Key West and visit Harry S. Truman's White House. Or you could go to like what's that Williamsburg, historic colonial Williamsburg in Virginia.
Absolutely.
Right.
When I used to have my channel, I went to the Mises Library at Hillsdale College, and I did a vlog of that and my experience there. So I was always trying to do more historical things. I went to the largest nature bridge in the country, which is in Michigan.
So there you go. So that's the idea, right? So if we want to build a libertarian Daily Wire, then we give the judge a show right before mine, Judging Freedom, and then it goes into the Wake Up America show. I do my 2-hour morning show. Then we have Stephanie during the daytime shows, which is when a lot of cooking shows are.
Rachel Ray.
Yeah, Rachel Ray.
All the housewives are at home.
Exactly. And so they can watch Stephanie doing colonial cooking, right? And you can do like, recipes of the founding fathers and stuff like that.
Stove.
With your wood burning, so we'll get your wood burning stove and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? The only way that's going to happen is if we get support from our audience, right? So, and here's the thing I wanted to say too about like, not having 1 million subscribers and all that kind of stuff. You may have been watching this YouTube video with me the other day when we were talking about how you don't really have to have the mass audience, right? To be able to get advertisers and to be able to be influential and to make money. You just have to have a niche, right? And you have to like have an audience who is dedicated. So like, for example, 25 viewers over on YouTube right now. It's not huge, right? There are people who have, much bigger live stream audiences and things like that. But as long as our audience is responsive and as long as our audience, it's actually chat. Yeah. That's right. It's quality over quantity in terms of these shows. So it really, that's what matters. And I know these people, I say loyal and stuff like that, but I mean, I know Ayan Henry and Andy Opperman and Rare Camellia and Buddy Mansur and all this kind of stuff.
Every single day.
Yeah, you guys are there, right? And so that's really what the advertisers care about. They want to see that there's like some, I guess they call it brand loyalty and all that kind of stuff, which is why, probably, Steven Crowder goes off on his own. He's fine. You know what I mean? He's got a massive audience, but
I thought he was on his own. Honestly.
Me too, but he's part of the Blaze. He's connected to the Blaze, so he's connected to a network, right? Quality, not quantity. Exactly is the point. All right, we're going to go to commercial break. Then we got one more segment left to go. We're going to talk about that whole Alec Baldwin situation.
Yeah.
Did you see this with Helena Hutchins, where he's getting charged with involuntary manslaughter? And I looked up some stories about people. There've been a lot of people who have died on movie sets. Right? Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Good morning to the Cantina crew. This is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America show. I've decided that Austin Patterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
If I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors, what would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com, but you already knew that, didn't you? Joining us in studio is my lovely bride, Stephanie Peterson. Nice to see you again. Last segment ago, it flew by, didn't it?
Did.
Yeah. Did you see we got a new member over there in the chat? We got Doug H.
And then Robbie sent a
super chat for a machine gun shoot in June. Is that happening? Are we going down? I mean,
I don't know. Or did that already happen?
no, I think it's coming up in June. There's a machine gun shoot, or maybe he wants us to set one up. I don't know about that one. I would be down, but man, we'd spend every penny we had.
Yeah, very, very
so
expensive
to fire a machine gun.
When it was your birthday a few years ago, I was trying to get us to do like an antique gun shoot. And it was during COVID, and ammo was so expensive, and it would have been like hundreds of dollars to do that.
Just to pull, because like Stephanie wanted to, for my birthday, set me up with a machine gun shoot where I could shoot historic machine guns, including a machine gewehr.
Your very favorite guns.
The MG42, the STG 44, yes, the Sturmgewehr.
Yeah, because I asked you your favorite guns, and then I price checked them, and I was like, oh, my dreams are shattered.
Yeah, and just for Robin, oh, look at that. Ann Henry sent us a super chat, 333. She says, sorry, it's not more. Oh, babe, don't you worry. We appreciate you, bro.
Seriously.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Every little bit helps, big time. Absolutely,
I know you're here all the time, Ann.
Yeah, you're a huge supporter, and we're grateful.
Yeah.
And again, for anybody who can't, if you can't make a donation, it's no big deal. You can do lots of different things to help. Just like the show, subscribe, invite a friend.
And with the reels starting in February, just watching the reels is going to help you
Absolutely.
financially.
Yeah, go to the playlist.
Yeah.
So we've set up the playlist for the Guns of the Presidents and the my new Philosophites.
Oh, Philosophites.
Philosophiles as well. We love philosophy.
Rolled off the tongue.
A philosophiles is someone who loves philosophy. So yeah, Philosophites is my new YouTube Shorts thing. And yesterday I did one on war communism. And the other one I did a Rothbard. Today I'm going to do, I think, agorism, but we'll see.
I've never heard of that either.
Exactly. I'm going to learn something about it.
Philosophy. I actually started a Socrates Cafe in Michigan, a meetup group, and we just discussed philosophy. It was amazing.
Yeah. Ann Henry, by the way, her name is Amanda. Yes. Well, that's
It's nice to know your name.
It's a perfect name. Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
feel like I just got to know you.
Exactly.
Really.
We like that. We like
Yes.
getting to know our audience and stuff and being friends with people and stuff like that. So we try and make it as the stream kind of like as welcoming as possible to everybody. A lot of times people like argue and they get like nasty and the chats are no fun,
Right.
but we try and moderate. One of the like most important things that I've learned in my years or in like politics and campaigns and stuff is that it's very important to build a healthy community.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the Freedom Ninja Army.
Mhm.
When I first started becoming a fan,
Mhm.
is everyone was really supportive and giving to each other. If
Mhm.
you ever had a problem, you could reach out and you would have tons of people
Mhm.
supporting you and helping you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm all about. So like
Mhm.
the Cantina crew in the morning, because look at our success stories. Look at Jamie Marie Pope down there fighting for freedom, running for office.
Absolutely.
Started out as a morning show live stream watcher and stuff, and now she can't even join us because she's so busy out there freedom fighting and
I
stuff.
know.
And she's got a support crew of people out there. So gosh, let's see. We've only got about 6 or 7 or 8 minutes. I don't think we've got enough time to talk about Alec Baldwin. So let's just talk about ourselves. Who's our friend over there? Foxhound joining us this morning.
Wow,
That's a new one as well. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream, Foxhound. And what we are is dust in the wind, dude. Says Luke Sacker. Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Maybe, but I don't think I watched all the way through, or I don't remember.
I guess I got another
need to
movie.
watch
We got
that.
another movie we
We
got to
started
watch.
watching House of Cards last night.
Yeah,
and it is amazing.
Yes, she has never seen House of Cards, so we
All
started
the
watching.
drama and scandalous
And boobs.
material.
It's great. For sure. So back to what we were talking about, which is us, the Cantina crew. It's exciting to see, people who come in and like they go out and become successes, like Jamie Marie Pope and others and stuff like that. And then you have people who are already successes, like Chris Morrill, who's like a insurance adjuster. He's an interesting guy from Southeast Missouri, Cape Girardeau, and he like gives us sometimes a little bit of insight into like people who try and like cheat insurance and stuff like that, which I think is actually kind of interesting, to be honest. And who else?
Absolutely. I mean, you have some very popular people that are fans of yours.
Mhm.
Like, didn't you say, is there someone in the Baldwin family that follows you on Twitter?
Yes,
One of the brothers?
Yeah, I have a fan in the Baldwin family, actually.
Not Alec.
Not Alec. No, he would
Oh,
never
boy.
he's a communist. But no, Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket, Adam Baldwin.
Adam.
Adam Baldwin
Yeah,
is
he
a fan of
follows
mine.
you.
Yeah, I need to get him on the show.
That would be cool.
I need to do that. I need to get Animal Mother on the show. That would be awesome. You guys want to see that happen?
Stone, his son.
Oh,
he's
Sean
a
Stone.
fan of yours.
Yeah, Oliver Stone's son.
Yes.
Sean
He makes
Stone.
documentaries.
Yeah, he makes documentaries. Converted to Islam. He's an interesting
Mhm.
character. Yeah. So yeah, the guy. This is the funniest celebrity fan of mine. Do you remember Mad TV? You know who this is.
Mad TV.
So, who was your favorite character from Mad TV?
Oh, Kristen Wiig is SNL. Mad TV was Stewart. Now, Stewart
is a fan of. No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
to be Stewart.
Yeah, everybody did because it was the funniest character on Mad TV. Stewart is he's like a right leaning conservative like libertarian type. Yeah,
Girling right
yeah.
now.
I've talked to him on the phone a few times actually.
No.
Yeah.
Did he like do a Stewart impression?
No. No.
Take off your cowboy boots.
Yeah, for sure. No, wait a minute. Cecilia H says Adam Baldwin is not a Baldwin brother. Okay, I was wrong about that one. I thought he was one of the Baldwin brothers. Okay, Adam. He's just a Baldwin. He's just a Baldwin, but not a Baldwin brother.
Versus Ian.
They're spelled the same. But I always thought he was. My bad. But he is a celebrity. So,
Sure.
There you go. But not a Baldwin brother.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Buddy Mansour named his kid Billy Bob. What? Let's see. What else do we have? The man they called Jane. Yeah, so I don't know. There might be other celebrity. Oh, well, I've got a few like members of Congress that are friends of mine. So,
right.
What's his name? He's the former football player who's now in Congress. God, really good, like right-wing conservative guy.
That wrestler.
Football.
That old wrestler that is now
black.
in Congress.
Not Herschel Walker. Who were you? What was your house? Burgess Owens.
There's that old wrestler that is now in Congress.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's not in Congress. He's the mayor of
He's a
Knox
mayor.
County, Tennessee. Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah, Kane, but
he's
he's
pretty
like
cool.
a libertarian Republican for sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So still exciting that he follows you. I love him in Firefly and Chooch. Chooch? I don't know what Chooch is. I never heard that. Burgess Owens. Yeah, Luke, you were right. It was Burgess Owens. So anyways, it's been a great show today, Stephanie. I think we've had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Being here.
It's Family Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show today's been just kind of like all over the place.
Topics. We were going to talk about negative people being more productive. We're going to talk about how awe can help you mentally.
Yeah. How the emotion of awe. Yeah, and we were going to talk about curmudgeons being more productive and all this stuff. So I guess we're not curmudgeons because we weren't very productive in terms of.
Yeah,
we're supposed to talk about the news.
People are 12% more productive in other research.
Okay.
So still be happy, guys.
I'll tell you what. Here's my promise to you. On Monday, I will talk about the news. Okay. I will stick to the news because I know that's what you're looking for when you watch the show.
Skinny, practically. We're like, okay, look, here's the facts. This is what's up. Negative people are more critical. It's like, just think about Karen. Karen is critical. She likes to nitpick. Okay. That makes sense.
And what's the gist with awe?
The gist with awe is that feeling in awe about experiences, so like seeing a baby being born, or even experiencing something frightening, like seeing a genocide, for example, it basically takes you away from your mind. So it actually reduces your own negative thoughts because it's making you focus more on the moment and what's happening. It also helps you regulate your bodily functions, helps with digestion, reduces your heart rate.
Yes. Can I ask Buddy Mansour and Cecilia H a favor?
Oh.
Buddy and Cecilia, would you become channel members today?
Oh.
Join the Freedom Ninja Army?
That is an ask.
It's an ask. Buddy and Cecilia, it would mean a lot to me.
The pressure's on, guys.
If you would join, no pressure. You don't have to if you can't. Not everybody can do it. Just I'm asking if you wouldn't mind. Would you join the Freedom Ninja Army today? Yeah. It's $2.99 a month. And you get a 20% discount on the shop, by the way. I see Representative of the Republic is in the house.
There's somebody in the chatting?
In the house. Representative of the Republic is in the chat.
Person in the chat right now?
No, it's just username. Representative of the Republic.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of politicians are really cool to hang out with. Wasn't it Eric Burleson?
Yes.
Hanging out with him. And
yes, he's a member of Congress.
Whiskeys.
And yeah, there's another celebrity fan.
Just like, normal guy, know, in his sweats,
he showed up to my speech.
Yeah.
He came up to me after the speech and he said, Austin, if you were teaching our generation of young people, they would be so much better off. I was just like, wow, that's a nice compliment. Yeah.
I know. He seems so normal. Just like Thomas Massey. I feel like Thomas Massey would be really down to earth.
Yeah. You know what? Massey is a little bit tough to he's hard to have a small talk with.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never met him
because he's such a nerd.
I love nerds.
Yeah, you would like him, but I mean, it's like.
Be like, tell me about your farm. Tell me about your animals.
So funny thing.
Your Tesla.
So it was like the one time when I was hanging with Thomas Massey and we were in DC, and I called him a nerd because he said something really nerdy. I was like, and like it got awkward, and I go nerd, and then like it got even more awkward, and everybody's just kind of quiet, like looking at us, and I was just like.
Oh boy.
It's just really awkward.
Yeah, nerds become defensive of being a nerd.
I know.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Calling Thomas Massey a nerd to his face.
Oh boy.
All right, we gotta go. We got 10 seconds left in the music, so we gotta go. See you later, guys. Bye, Steffi. See you later, nerds. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. The Wake Up America show. Wake Up America show. Oh shoot! Wait. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I tell you what. We're gonna go to a little break, real quick. We're going to come back. We'll give you 5 extra minutes. How's that? And we're going to set up a karate demonstration. Stephanie's going to do her karate, so you got to stick around. But we got to do it. If she does karate, then Cecilia and Buddy Mansour become channel members. Okay? Good? Sound good? And Luke Sacker. Okay. Luke, you've got to become a channel member of Jameson and Darby. But if Stephanie does karate. All right. So we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be back, and Stephanie will do karate. Okay?
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention.
Bonus show. Frankly, I owed you several extra minutes anyway, because yesterday we left the show a little bit early. So now we're going to give you a little bit of a bonus show. As you can see, my lovely wife, Stephanie, over there. Hi, Steffi. Oh. They can barely hear you. Luke Stacker sent us $5, by the way. Luke, thank you very much. We appreciate you very much. They can't really hear you, Stephanie, unless you talk into that little microphone that you got over there.
Hello.
Yes. So, Stephanie, do you want to do a kata or do you want to do techniques? What do you want to do?
I can try high on Yundan.
Okay, so you're going to do high on Yundan? Okay.
Let's do it.
So Stephanie is going to do... She's going to do some karate. All right, Stephanie, go ahead and do your high on Yundan. Okay, I'll let you know.
Yay! See here. Reposition. Okay.
Not enough space. 2. There you go. Nice. It's a bow. Oh, all right. So now let's show some techniques. Let's do left leg forward. Yep, kamae. Fists up. All right, and we're gonna do jab, cross, jab. Switch your feet. Jab, cross, jab. Ready? Itch. Gotta go ahead. Knee. Thanks. So switch back and then do it again. There you go. San. She. Switch back. All right, so now do let's show them and then turn to your left. All right, show them fists up, left leg forward, kamae. Mai geri, nice and high. All right, mawashigeri. All right, jab, cross, jab. Jab, cross, jab. Now we're gonna do block and gyakuzuki. Yes, nice. Gedanbarai Gyakuzuki. Awesome. All right, I think that's good, don't you? Stephanie, you want to give us a bow? Yes, we'll give you an applause. There you go. You got your little bonus. You got your little bonus karate.
Karate with Steffi every Friday?
For sure. Yeah. Chris Morrill says that he's probably going to buy the Meowing is Free Speech cat mat. I'm pretty
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that Stephanie, I think that that one's perfect for Christmas. We probably had that in mind. You made that, didn't you?
I sure did.
Yes,
And
lovely.
I made dog stuff too. Whew, I'm out of breath. That was a workout.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my
and now
gosh.
you're no longer freezing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's warmed me up.
Yeah, so now we got to go because I've got to record some videos before we go because Steffi, you've got a class.
To go do therapy.
You got a session at 10
Not for
o'clock
myself,
this morning. Yes.
for other people.
Stephanie, thank you very much for everything. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And yeah, we appreciate it. Give her some more
Oh,
applause. Yes.
Arigato
thank you.
gozaimashita.
Arigato gozaimashita. Arigato gozaimasu. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one. Take care.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apeforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apeforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit aporlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.